Hi, my name is Diego Solano, and this is my final project, project number 4. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so when I reflect on my overall engagement with this class, during the semester, I can truly say that this course has allowed me to express my creativity and at the same time build fundamental habits and skills that have benefited me and will continue to benefit me in the future. Okay, so during the semester, I have accomplished a systematic work ethic where I would have to, spread the learning tasks throughout the week in order to retain maximum information for this class. And doing this, I learned about how media channels spread information that influences generations of people. Okay, I'm truly proud of creating a podcast for each and every project that I've had to tackle, and I'm honestly glad that this class has given me the opportunity to create my own style of work instead of, being forced to write an essay like another class would. So the readings were definitely a hassle, and while I wasn't, used to reading so much within a week, I found it actually beneficial in developing good time management habits. And I would, read every day and whenever I found free time throughout the day. So that was definitely beneficial for me. The forum posts helped me build a sense of community, and it helped me, to check if I was on the same track as my classmates. And some posts also, helped clarify some subjects for me if I wasn't confident in my own response. So the topics that interested me the most were the MPAA rating system and how Hollywood, hired certain individuals to rate a film. This is because I've always been curious about the rating system and how movies are graded in a manner that classifies whether it is suitable for certain audiences. I also found the feminist perspective to be interesting and how the perception of women in film has changed throughout the years. I will remember the executive function videos because they helped me build skills that modified my studying and my resilience, and they also helped me reflect on my purpose and what is worth investing my time in. Okay, so let's go move on to part 2. Okay, so by analyzing, the history of pop culture through Marxist and feminist perspectives, it is evident that pop culture has set the status quo by distributing media channels proposed by successful film companies and industries in order to modify the behavior of Americans. In terms of race, historically, African Americans have been portrayed in an exaggerated and humorous manner. Whether it was silly cartoons or slave films, African Americans would often have similar characteristics and attitudes where they're portrayed as almost subhuman like beings who had like exaggerated ginormous lips and would often be submissive towards white folks. And over the years, this portrayal has decreased dramatically due to our cultural attitude towards racial equality. But pop culture has influenced this trend in a way by screening Black people in a more perceptive manner with shows such as The Cosby Show and The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and other shows that have represented have been more representative of Black people. In regards to what is ideologically normal and what is not normal, pop culture has managed to change our perspectives by visually desensitizing us to social norms and ideologies. An example of this is the nature and prevalence of violence in films. So as the decades progressed, violence had become more prevalent and less significant. This changed the ideology of Americans because we became used to seeing violence in films. Therefore, we almost expected them to be in our entertainment. Okay, so pop culture continues to, influence the attitudes of our generations, and new applications such as the cell phone and social media have drastically increased the spread of information and social trends by using light speed technologies. While social media has been beneficial in numerous ways, that have allowed groups to interact and, without fully being present, it has also damaged our society by spreading misinformation and ultimately reinforcing single story messages. This was seen in the Facebook dilemma, where the spread of misinformation was actually threatening the lives of political figures in Egypt. Okay, so now let's move on to part three. Okay, so the success of the duality myth in American culture suggests that Americans desire to stand out due to our self-appealing nature, but at the same time, we as a society want to partake, in a sense of community. And the duality myth greatly influenced the characteristics of American heroes for generations of pop culture. The outlaw hero showed his lawlessness that Americans all praise, and also freedom from oppression and taking morality into their own hands. The official hero demonstrates, the collective aspect of American culture. And the contrast between these two has defined some of America's most significant protagonists that have personally influenced me. Heroes such as Walter White, Thomas Shelby, and Rick Grimes have all impacted the way I think in one way or another. Whether it is my moral values or what I consider heroic or correct, the duality myth has generally influenced my behavior and what I value in life. This brings me to my next topic, which is how pop culture has personally impacted my life. First of all, my entire character and moral compass rely heavily, based on the medias I have watched and learned through movies, social media apps, and even books. I am optimistic about the future of pop culture because even though, it is heavily criticized, I believe that it has allowed our culture to evolve and progress by innovating the way we think as a group. And I believe that if we continue to reflect on the mistakes we as a culture have made in the past and learn from them, then pop culture can continue to influence us in a beneficial way. Okay, so this has been my project number 4. Uh, thank you for this class, Professor. I've learned many things, including how to create a podcast. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you. Have a good one.